Hello, babies.
Ray, thank you for the birthday
Richard.
wishes.
I already gave you mine.
Yeah, no, Bill gave me the
You
one.
only get one.
You only get one.
Birth.
Every 3 years, you complete the, happy birthday.
Day.
So
I
tomorrow,
gave
next
you
year,
congratulations the other day. That was good enough.
I'll look forward to the day. All right, let's get the show started. The Simple Mind Sports Show, where we talk New England sports and the latest and the greatest going on. Lot of Celtics today, for sure. This is Wednesday, about a half an hour before the game kicks off. We'll see if any of you sleepy bitches are awake after the game. Maybe we'll do an instant reaction. Bill, I assume you won't be. So Ray, just let me know.
Excuse me?
It'll probably just be me, and I will probably say fuck it. So we'll see.
How
next
many
week.
times have you and me been up to like midnight chatting while Ray's sleeping beauty over there? Please.
That's true. In his undies. But a couple other things to get to. We'll do Red Sox and Bruins as well. Let's just do some opening takes to start. I'll actually, Ray, why don't you go ahead with some serious hate? I'm assuming. Go ahead.
Thank you, Richard. My opening take: fuck Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, I really thought you were going to have more than that. And how dare you steal my take that's been ongoing for 3 years?
How dare you get on my guy like that?
On my birthday, nonetheless. To pull that out from under me was, I audibly gasped when I saw that on the text chain. But if I'm nothing else,
how dare you get on my guy like that? When Ramadan, he's fasting, he's been a better player, fucking own the Celtics in the fourth quarter, and you sit here and tell him to go fuck himself. I don't like that, Ray. Team Kyrie, baby.
On Rich's birthday. How dare you?
How dare you?
Happy birthday, Rich.
You know what? I might as well complete the opening take here. Fuck Kyrie Irving. This guy is the worst human that plays professional sports. For anybody to have this guy's back at all is just absurd at this point. It's ludicrous. The way that he acted in that game was so surprisingly
superstar,
juvenile. Like, what a fucking idiot. Not just a dickhead, not just a jerk, not just an asshole, not just a cunt. Like, what a moron. He's so fucking pea-brained. I hate him. I've hated him for such a long time. He makes my blood boil. And I'm so happy the Celtics beat him in excruciating fashion, which they might not have deserved to do. We'll get to more on that in the show. Bill, do you have any other real takes?
Yeah, I'm gonna switch it to baseball here. I think you have a Garrett Whitlock problem, and I'm gonna kind of explain right now. I mean, he's on pace for 175 innings as not a starter. You saw him come pitch game 1 Tuesday night against the Blue Jays. Came in 1-2-3, 9th inning for the save after he pitched Sunday. 2-3 innings to finish, I believe. So I mean, he's averaged over 2 1/3 innings pretty much every appearance except for last night or Tuesday night, I should say, in that first series. You need to figure out his role. I want his role defined. Are you going to make him a reliever? Are you going to make him kind of piggyback off Rich Hill, piggyback off Michael Walker? What are you going to do? Are you going to make him a closer? Or are you going to make him a starter? Right? I mean, you heard Alex Cora come out and say, we played this like a playoff game. I wanted to win. So I brought him out. I don't want to see that right now. I think he's too important to this team. You need to define his role because I don't want to see this kid get burnt out. I mean, he's honestly, outside of maybe Nathan Eovaldi, he's your best pitcher on the roster currently.
Oh, he's your best pitcher.
He's a weapon, and I understand like in the Andrew Miller mold, but like it's not the time to deploy him like that. Game 11, he has I think he's number 2 in innings on the team right now, which as a reliever, you don't want to see this early in the season. So figure out his role and stick to his role.
He has 4 or 5 appearances, and Eovaldi has 2 as your number 1 starter. So there you go. There you go right there. Okay, we'll be doing that.
He's also 3 in 1 of those appearances.
Yeah, he's a stud. He's an absolute stud.
He's an absolute stud, but you need to figure out his role.
Okay, we'll talk more about that. We'll do some late Celtics game 1 reactions. This is Friday. The game was a fucking week ago, and there's been game 2 since then. So we'll kind of go through that a little bit more Kyrie bashing. We'll do some Celtics game 2, and then we'll leave an editable pause for when Bill and I talk about the Celtics and Ray sleeping
Well, fuck you. I'll be awake, you dink.
A little bit of Red Sox, a little bit of Bruins update as well, and the simplest minds of the week. All that on Friday's Rewinds, April, almost said September, April 22nd. Welcome to the show. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
I'm out. Bye. I had a pretty good buzz going before we got on here, and then my kid got sick, and it was a little bit scary for a second, and I lost my buzz.
It's back.
If you're looking for a good buzz and no scary daughter shit, go down to White Birch Brewing, the best craft brewing in New Hampshire. What you got there, Ray?
Something a little more interesting.
That's one of your faves.
Double.
There, huh?
No, this is the double IPA. I'm not time traveling tonight.
Okay, that's something a lot more interesting.
Something a lot more interesting is the triple. This is just a double, nice smooth 7%er.
There you go. You can get that down at the brewery along with everything else. Get yourself a flight of pint, the Dr. Vittles flight of pints. Head on down to the best craft brewing in New Hampshire, Nashua, New Hampshire. Ray, address, please.
460 Amherst Street.
The good side of Amherst Street. Head on down to the brewery. Get yourself a flight, the pint, like I just mentioned. Going to be a long show. If you can't get there, then get your local beer store, wherever you get it. Tell them these Simple Minds boys sent you. All right, some quick game one takeaways. Let me list mine that I gave you here in the email, Bill, if you want to read that, and get your reaction. I thought the defense right off the bat, first quarter, the defense on Durant was very noticeable. They had 3 strips basically right off the bat. He had 7 turnovers in all. Obviously finished 9 for 24. Clearly they were focused on bodying him up and making life hell for Durant, and it worked. Horford was maybe an unsung key to this game, played 41 minutes, 20 points, 15 boards, 2 assists. They're going to crush this team on the boards all night long. He needs to be continue to be that good through the series. Marcus Smart had a really good game. Kudos, defensive player of the year. Congratulations there, Marcus. Totally deserving. Shot well, which was good. 20 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. That's got to keep up if he's going to shoot as much as he did, because he shot a lot. Tatum and Brown were offensively what they have been all season for this back half of the season. Tatum started with heavy distribution at 8 assists in all, and both of them hit some really big threes late. Tatum's came at the end of the third to finish off a nice run, and then Brown, a big one in the fourth quarter on the comeback. Your thoughts on some of those takeaways before we get into the game-winning sequence and the whole Kyrie stuff? Bill, go ahead.
No, I think that's the way you're going to beat the Nets right now is you got to body up Kevin Durant. I mean, he's, Rich, you and I talked about it last week. He can score at will, right? I mean, I think your defense on him was perfect all game. You flustered him. You were running double teams at him and he couldn't get in his rhythm. I think he's the guy you need to keep out of your rhythm the most. You saw what Kyrie can do when I think you focus more on Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, in my opinion, is the best player in the world when he wants to be, right? And I think if you can fluster him and make him angry and frustrated, that's the perfect defense you need to play to beat the Nets. I think they're a better team, in my opinion. I think, you have the star power on them, but it's still at the same time, fluster Durant as much as you can. That's the only way you're going to beat this team. As far as Marcus Smart, defensive player of the year, I think it was an overhyped award. You had a lot of Boston guys, a little bit of the national guys. I don't really put a lot of stock into it. I mean, he is an all-pro, all-NBA defender, but, so is Ben Simmons. What does that say? So, I mean, it is what it is. I think it ups his trade value in the offseason. He's on a very favorable $22 million contract that we were kind of like, why'd you do it? But again, defensive player year puts a little stamp on what you can do in the offseason as far as, I'm moving him for a superstar, but we'll see. But I mean, that it just ups his trade value.
Ray, your takeaways in game one of some of the stuff I mentioned or something I missed?
The Marcus Smart, the last possession we had, how much did we all think he was going to shoot that 3-pointer? That extra pass was what won that game, and the unselfish. I think he's finally realizing this isn't his team. It's Tatum's team. So I think that extra pass was like, here you go, Tatum. I know you're going to go win the game. Instead of him playing hero ball, he played smart basketball, and that's how we won that game right there. It was that one extra pass to Tatum for that layup, and I loved it.
Tatum, who disappeared in the fourth, but, Who's counting?
Yeah. So it's going off your point on the Durant stuff, Bill, real quick. I do the same thing, and I double down on making Kyrie Irving score 39 points every game this series.
Yeah, that's let him beat you. Let
Mhm.
Kyrie drop 50 points and let him beat you. As long if you can shut
If you can
down
stop
Kevin
KD,
Durant,
hell yeah.
KD, you could. The X factor, and I've been saying it. Ben Simmons is rumored. If he gets cleared, it's basically up to him. So there's 50-50. You know, Rich, you've mentioned he's suing Philly, right, for 19 million. So there's a little question marks that this is kind of a fake back injury. He did get a couple epidurals, but game 3 looks likely. Game 4, I mean, that's a little bit of an X factor. You need to get up. You need to beat this Brooklyn Nets team right now, because just adding that extra piece, whatever it is off the bench, I know he hasn't played, but it's a lockdown guy. You saw Jason Tatum disappear in the fourth quarter. He had 27 points in the fourth quarter, looked on fire. 4 points, including one layup to win the game that I could have made.
Yeah, I was surprised he actually made it. They've blown a lot of those layups in their short career here. On the the Tatum disappearing in the fourth, the Celtics giving up a 12-point lead in the fourth quarter. Look, if you go back,
15.
they had a 15, and by the time it was the fourth, it was a 12-point lead. But yeah, it was a 15-point lead overall. They lost. If you go back and look, that Nets defense didn't clamp down. Jaylen Brown had 3 point-blank layups missed. Horford had a point-blank layup missed. They lost their shit. Like they have
dunked.
Time and time again. They lost their shit for 8 minutes in that fourth quarter and allowed them to get back into it and went down by 5. Now, to their credit, and to your point, Ray, getting into that last sequence of the game, they got it back. All right, so they moved the ball. They got back into their offense, which created that wide open 3 for Jaylen Brown. That was huge. They got a stop at the other end. It came down. That actually, the stop at the other end was Kevin Durant shooting a wide open 3, which he bricked it somehow. They came down.
I could not believe he missed that.
I thought he was going to make that. Yeah.
That was it. That was a dagger.
That was with 48, whatever many seconds. Out of the timeout, they came down. Jaylen Brown got the 2-for-1 layup, which was wide open. Like he just took Bruce Brown to school. Kyrie hit the 3, and then he got the whatever it was. Then the final sequence. Ray, I agree with you, Marcus Smart. Great pass, but I thought that was a whole microcosm of how this team has just evolved since the less than 500 team.
I was just giving the kudos to Marcus Smart on that, because
I think their evolution.
Last year he's shooting that. This year he actually made the extra pass.
Yeah, you know what? You know why he passed? 1, he saw 2 guys coming, and 2, he saw Kevin Durant standing at the free throw line doing absolutely nothing as Jason Tatum.
Kyrie Irving
watched Jason Tatum blow right by him for the game-winning, for the open pass in game, which was a terrible pass, by the way, because he had to spin around and get him. Either way, it was still, it's good to see him not shoot that. But I mean, if Kevin Durant's not standing there fucking counting the fans in the stands, then
Kevin Durant was left-footed on that,
right? I mean, look at the replay. Smart shooting that ball. If Kevin Durant doesn't make a boneheaded play and you saw,
I just think, look, like the whole play, you got the stop, you locked down on Kyrie. Tatum, with great individual defense on Durant, forced him into a bad 3, and then you get 11 seconds. I mean, doesn't call the timeout, which is pretty normal in the NBA off a miss in that situation. Really, if they made it, they usually call a timeout. So they don't get their set defense. But the whole play was less about Marcus Smart in the moment making a decision not to be selfish, or Jaylen Brown. It was just they all fell into move the ball side to side, unselfish basketball, give up a good shot for a great shot. And when you're working in less than 5 seconds, I don't know if Smart has time to think, I'm not going to be selfish here. I'm going to find Jason Tatum. Like, I don't even know if he knew it was Jason Tatum cutting to the rim. It was that fast. He just saw a guy cutting and threw him the ball. And that's, I thought, was just showed what the team has become since what they were. Now, that being said, don't give up a 15-point fucking lead in the fourth quarter. Just don't go scoreless for 8 minutes in the fourth quarter. So they got to tighten that up. It's going to be their Achilles heel this playoffs. If they can't figure out how to win in process here in the playoffs and put their foot on people's necks in the fourth quarter, then I don't know. I don't even know if they get out of this series. Oh, there's my last point. Was it just me or did the refs suck?
Oh, they're terrible.
Terrible, right?
Yeah, a lot of whistle calls.
A lot of whistle calls, a lot of non-whistle calls. I was okay with the non-whistle call on Jaylen Brown. Excuse me, there was a lot of uproar on that, but I didn't seem to care. Boo-hoo, you got a bloody nose. Quit being a bitch.
On that play, The only problem was they were calling shit the whole game. Kyrie Irving clearly felt Jaylen Brown coming around and stuck his arm out. So, like, that's a foul.
Well, there's a lot of flopping on the Nets as well. They flopped a lot in that game.
Yeah, I'm sure the Celtics did too. I just thought that there was too many fouls. Like, everybody had 4 fouls. Everyone was in the bonus. Andre Drummond was out of the game in the first quarter. Like, it was just they were whistle happy.
But the Nets had 3 starters with 2 fouls, like 5 minutes into the game.
All their starters had at least 4. All the Celtics starters had 4, except
Kyrie had 5.
Yeah, no, he didn't have a set of balls. Let's get into Kyrie Irving, and I tried to count them today. The incidents, it's got to be 5 or 6 that were caught. Between the first middle finger, the double middle finger, the crying boo-hoo. There's one with him grabbing his nutsack under the
I don't hate him for any of this, by the way.
Right off the bat, he stuck his hand in the camera. I noticed that live. I was like, look at this fucking dickhead. Like, they do this every single game. They get close-ups of the players in the opening line. He's got to put his fucking hand on the camera. What a stupid, sensitive little bitch fucking Kyrie is. Goes on to just act like an absolute juvenile tool. The league finds him $50,000, the max that they can have. Did you think it was going to be higher? Did you think they were going to try and get him for multiple incidents, or did that seem right?
I just realized when Bill said that's the max you can get that I was fucking wrong. Because I remember during our group exchange, I said he was going to get fined a lot, but apparently that's the max fine. So, yeah, that's all he's going to get.
It's no interaction with a fan. You're not hitting fans or anything like that. It is what it is. I mean, I think it's just his nature in a whole. I bet if it was just one incident, it probably wouldn't have been so, like, here you go, in your face. Like, you know, it probably would have been, you saw Jokic get what, 9, or who was it?
30,000.
30. He got 30, whatever. He got 30,000. There was no real violence. Just not. It probably would have been on that level. So they probably sucked my dick. The one I thought was funny was he was giving it back to the fans on the baseline before the inbound. He's crying and all that, and then he comes down and hits a 3. So he's talking shit on the way back. I like that. I like the interaction with the fans. Who cares? I mean, I don't. I just hate him. I just think he's a cunt in general. But like that stuff, it doesn't bother me. Like.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem with Kyrie. Here's always been the problem with Kyrie. He's full of shit. He's the most full of shit person I've ever heard speak in my entire life, including politicians. He goes out and does what he does on that court after they're playing game, talking about being in a better place and fasting and Ramadan and we're all brothers and sisters. And then immediately, he's a crying little bitch, like juvenile little pussy on the court. And then he comes out in the press conference and acts like it's not, like he wasn't that. And someone tries to ask him a question about hostility. He's like, "No, there wasn't hostility, bro. It wasn't hostility, bro." It's like, just own it.
Own up to it. That's my problem.
You hate Boston. Tell him to fuck off. I'd respect him a lot more for that. Just be. And then, he says, people are going to talk to me about my name. I'm going to look them in the eye and see if they're about that. And normally they're not. It's like, you fucking fraud. You literally flip people off behind your back. This fucking guy. He just
talking about my boy like that.
He doesn't get it. He just doesn't get it at all. What do you think the Garden's going to be like tonight? Or this is Wednesday.
The fucking Red Sox games this week have been fuck Kyrie chants. Marathon Monday. I'm watching this game here and fuck Kyrie. It's plain as day on fucking Nesson. You think it's not going to be like that in the Garden tonight?
Oh, they're going to.
God, I wish I had tickets to this.
Are they going to
saying the cheap seats were $300? This place is going to be loud. People are going to be screaming at him. He thought game 1 was bad. Game 2 is going to be way worse.
I really hope they keep it in bounds. I really hope we don't see racial
shit.
No
bottle, no racials, no throwing shit at him.
Because then it just changes the narrative instantly and he wins. Like, just be cool.
See, I told you they were racist.
Be the typical scumbag fans we are. Just no racist shit.
Yeah.
Give it to him. Let him know that he's
know the line.
And we all hate him. Know the line to cross. Throwing shit at people. Fucking going racial, all that shit. Don't do it. It just puts a bad light on our city, and we don't want that shit. There's already too much of that bullshit going around. Keep it clean on that stuff. If you want to call his mother a cunt, more power to you. I don't give a shit. That stuff's all in play. Racial shit, throwing stuff.
What do you think would happen if he's up?
I love how Bill's telling the line. Sorry, I love how Bill's telling.
That's the line.
Bill said a couple lines today. One on the text chain that can't be repeated here. And
why not?
And
which one? You went over the line.
Oh, the AIDS. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I said 2 pretty crazy things. I wanted to rape Kyrie like a little bitch.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't sure which one you did.
Well,
the
that
other
one plays,
was,
apparently.
The other one was over the line.
Look,
the earth is
I
round.
would like to know what if for all these people, Bill, who don't think it's a big deal for Kyrie to be flipping off the fans. What if he went up to the free throw line, and the entire fucking TD Garden was just flipping him off, just double burning this guy?
I would fucking love it.
Don't
so
you
much.
think? But don't you think there'd be repercussions on the Celtics and Boston for that? Like
no,
that,
because everyone hates us
that
already.
doesn't swing both ways.
No,
You can't have
wait
19,000 people flipping off a guy at the free throw line.
Says who?
Tell them to suck their dick.
You had
Suck my
65,000.
dick.
Hold on. You had
Suck my dick. You
65,000
think
people
the
in
Garden
Philadelphia throwing batteries and snowballs at fucking Santa Claus.
and
You
they
think we
have
can handle a little fuck you to Kyrie
They have
Irving?
an endless reputation of terrible, terrible people and fans.
So do we. So who cares? We got to own
who
that
cares?
shit. We got to
Yeah,
live
own
it
that
up to
shit.
it.
Fair
We're
enough.
not
I'd
beating the
love to
shit out
see
of
it.
each other in stands. We're just
a
heckling the
whole
shit out of
Garden.
you.
Double bird, suck my dick.
Suck my dick. Suck my dick.
I wouldn't be surprised if you got it going. I don't know how security is going to shut shit down like that. Like if
They'll
it's
be
a
a part of
mob,
it.
it's if a
They'll be
mob
part of it.
behavior.
Fist fights,
Watch
who
out.
cares?
Watch out. Okay, quick break and then a little bit of Celtics game too. We already did some of it, but I got a couple things to bring up too. Quick break. All right, game 2. How do you think Durant does respond? Do you think he comes out and just has a monster game, or do you think Celtics can keep him somewhat in check? Not 9 for 24, but if he comes out and has 25 points and looks, kind of off, is that a win? Or do you think he's going to come out and go nuts?
I think he's going to come out and go nuts. I mean, he knows the pressure's on him right now. I mean, you saw the defense. He needs to try to, if he can't adjust to it, then, I mean, maybe he's more of a baby back bitch than we really thought. I mean, you just saw what's game 1. It ain't going to change from this whole series. This is how you're going to beat him. Right. So, I mean, you do something to adjust. If you don't come out and have a big game, you go down 0-2 coming back home. I mean, you got to start questioning their toughness. Kevin Durant's only one going to Golden State. That's a big problem. All right. So
Never been
I mean,
the guy.
you
never been
you
the guy.
were up 3-1 on a 73-win team, and what did you do? You lost. You fucking lost, and then you tucked your tail between your legs and joined them. Right. So I mean, he has never had the chance to win on his own. Right. So I mean, you got drafted in the best situation probably anyone ever. You had James Harden coming off the bench, Serge Ibaka. You had all these guys on this team, and then what did you do? You fucking got your chance finally to pick your own guy to play with in Kyrie Irving, and now you can't do it. You can't fucking do it. And if you go back down 0-2, Celtics just need to win 1 in Brooklyn. I mean, you need to have a big performance because all eyes are on Kevin Durant.
Raymond?
No, I totally agree. I think Bill said it best. I mean, KD has never won on his own. He went to Golden State. That's the only time he's actually won. He always choked when he was playing in OKC. So yeah, the lights are on him tonight. All the pressure's on KD. It's not Kyrie. Like, yeah, he sucks, but KD's supposed to be one of the best basketball players in the world. It's your time to shine. It's the playoffs. So if you can shut him down 2 games in a row, it's going to look very good for the green teamers around here.
Do you think Kyrie comes back and gives it back to the fans just like game 1, or do you think he quiets down? I think he quiets down. I think he's been muffled, and I think it's going to affect his play.
50 G's muffles anybody, baby.
50 G's muffles nothing. Oh shit, I forgot to bring that up. You know what his game checks are? $1.032 million. He played 29 games. He got paid $30 million. 50 grand is nothing. And he gets the playoff bonus. Whatever they win, you get the playoff bonus. So that he can find 50 grand every 350 grand to him. That's not even half of a game check. It's not even half a game check. Unbelievable. What about the Celtics side of it, Raymond? Can they stay focused? You're coming off of one of their best wins ever as a core. And that last second shot, Marcus Smart gets the Defensive Player Award given to him by Gary Payton, one of his heroes. These guys are riding.
How fat did he get?
Very fat. And he was in
wow.
He was in a beanie
like
a Sean
dude,
John outfit or some shit. He was wearing
you're in these baggy
hood
clothes
and
and you
shit.
still
Yeah, I was
look
like,
fat,
whoa,
dude.
fuck.
You got a problem.
He couldn't talk. I was like, how much does this award really mean to the NBA? This is the presentation. Anyway, can the Celtics hold it together? There's an expectation where they come out flat or maybe just too hyped and kind of get down early in this game? That's kind of a gut feeling I have. Or have they matured enough to come out and play it straight? Raymond?
Momentum is a beautiful thing, and I think momentum's on our side. Obviously, after that brilliant win game one, yeah, we beat them on the buzzer, but that momentum's a huge thing for any sports player. If you have momentum on your side, if you have that going on, you have it just brings you to another level. So I think that's going to help us up to game two tonight. The Jays are playing great. Marcus Smart getting the defensive player award, that's going to put him on another level, another pedestal. So hopefully he plays lockdown defense tonight. And yeah, I think it's going to be a good thing having this on our side.
Bill.
They're gonna come out and fall flat on their face to start.
Okay.
They're gonna get down early. It just screams typical Celtics. That's exactly what feels like it's gonna happen. And you might go about 3 minutes without scoring to start the game. Who knows?
You showing you playing Nostradamus right now?
Yeah, he's probably
son of a bitch.
God damn it, Bill. Fuck you. Don't do that. All right, come on.
What a cunt. I just looked. I'm like, that's like way too specific right now.
What are they down 3?
9-0.
It's 9-0.
Oh, great. Well, at least my gut was right. Okay. Stay tuned for your Celtics
No, when you said it, I was like, man, he's spot on right now.
Oh, it's Bruce Brown has all the points.
Special segment alert. This is your quasi instant reaction of the Celtics game 2, quote unquote. Whoa. Queens, quote unquote, big boy win. Celtics take down the Nets 114-107, complete a 17-point comeback to take a 2-0 lead heading to Brooklyn. Raymond, your initial reaction, or do you want me to run through? I just sent the email, so if you haven't read it, then you didn't read fast enough. But you want me to run through the takeaways? And you can jump in.
Yeah, let's go through the takeaways and we'll jump in. I'll piggyback off you.
Here's my takeaways that I had off the game 2 win. First of all, quote unquote Queens big boy win. I think that is true for a couple of reasons. Number one, 2-2. I basically called how this entire game was going to go. Nets came out, guns blazing, running everywhere on defense. They had the energy. They were more physical. They punched the Celtics in the face. 9-0 run to start the game. And it was an uphill battle from there for the Celtics to come all the way back from that. But just a sluggish start from the Celtics overall. Offensively, they were trying to do the same thing they were doing in game 1 for almost 3 quarters. It felt like maybe 2.5 quarters. But the Nets were clogging the lane. Every time Jason and Jalen went to the hoop, they had 3 guys in there. And Jason and Jalen tried beating it and they couldn't. And it took them a while to figure that out offensively. So it just felt really sluggish. It felt like on the offensive side of the game for the Celtics. On the other side, the Nets role players were on fire.
I hate Gordon Dragic. God damn, that guy's just so good. Every time he comes in, he's a killer. And how no one else picked him up when he got released from where did he go?
Well, he got bought out, and he basically had
Toronto
of where he wanted to go, and he went to the Nets.
Brooklyn.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. So, yeah, you could see he was on fire. His second quarter, he had 18 points in the game, and I'm pretty sure they all came in the second quarter. That's not true, but a lot of them did. And before him was Bruce Brown, scored the first, I think,
9 points.
Was it the first 9? That whole run was Bruce Brown. Obviously, the Celtics were kind of giving him the opportunities to score, and he did. So kudos. But the Dragic thing, here's what pissed me off. Ime has done a terrific job with this team, but I had 2 gripes about this game. The first was that second quarter, he was playing Daniel Tice and Al Horford against that small lineup for the Nets, and they were still getting out rebounded. By the way, the Celtics were, and Goran Dragic was eating up that big man lineup, whether it was Tice, Grant Williams, or Al Horford. He was pulling the step back mid-range jumper on him all night, that entire second quarter. That aggravated me a little bit that we didn't see Derek White. Like, what the fuck is Derek White here for? If he's not going to score and he's not in there to stop a guy like Goran Dragic, then what's the point of having Derek White?
I think it was because he was sluggish in game 1 and game 2, and that's why you saw a big game out of Grant Williams and P. Rabbit there, Peyton Pritchard.
I guess so, but Ime loves Derek White, loves him. I just thought that was the perfect time to send him in there and be a defensive stopper on a guy that was killing you. And the Nets did that all night, by the way. Every time, obviously the Celtics.
Can I stop you real quick?
Go ahead.
Maybe they took him out because they didn't need the defensive stoppage. They needed an offensive flurry, and that's why they relied on Grant and Peyton.
Well, but I'm talking about the second quarter and specifically Daniel Tice being in there trying to guard Goran Dragic as he just ate him up. Later in the game, they made those adjustments, and obviously Payton came in and had a huge fourth quarter, and Grant Williams kept him in the game in the second quarter on the other side of the ball with his, what do you have, 2 or 3 big 3-pointers?
Three.
And he was huge all night. He had a big offensive rebound late in the game off a missed free throw. I think it was a Jaylen Brown missed free throw or Tatum. Put that back in. His defense on Durant was excellent. He just had a really, really solid game, but specifically in that second quarter, the first quarter, he kept him in it offensively. The other guy, and this happened all night, it felt like Seth Curry on the Nets had 16 points with a couple 3-pointers. Every time the Celtics started to make a push, someone on one of those guys, one of those 3 guys buried a 3. Dragic, Bruce Brown, or Seth Curry. They did their part. They absolutely did their part. But where they lost this game, and I think Charles Barkley said it, and I agree with him, was at halftime. The Nets let a 17-point lead go, and the Celtics brought it back to 10. And they could have buried them. I lose track of the sequences, but did the refs miss that goaltend?
Yes.
That the Nets had? Was that in the second quarter?
Yes.
Right in the middle.
Yes. I think
it was right in the middle of the kind of the Celtics had a run going, right? And they had finally brought it back. They were down double digits and they brought it back to single digits. And then they missed the goaltend, 5-point swing. Felt like the Celtics lost their composure, had a couple stupid turnovers. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum started this game off terribly with their garbage turnovers, handling the ball, by the way. And it felt like the Nets were going to take control. They brought it all the way 17 points. And then that final 5 minutes of the first half, the Celtics brought it all the way back to 10. And it felt like if they didn't close that half, the Celtics were just about to run away with the thing. That's how deflated it felt from the Nets. So that was my key sequences in the first half. Did I miss anything?
No, just Tatum, like you said, played lackluster basketball. That's 2 games in a row, though, that you can't rely on him in the first half, and this other teammate stepped up and played big for him. So
I'll just say this about the Tatum stuff. He scored 19 points this game, 9 of them in the fourth quarter. Jaylen Brown, 10 points in the fourth quarter of his 22. We've been kind of asking for this from these guys all along. It's like, you don't have to play hero ball, get other guys involved, hit your shots when you're open. And then when it comes time to needing you, step up. That's exactly what they did in this game. Mm-hmm. It's exactly what they did. They tried, they had some bad turnovers handling the ball in the paint early in this game because the Nets defense decided that that's what they were going to stop. And they did a good job of it. And they played good team defense for once on Jason and Jaylen, and they had to adapt. And I think Tatum's done a pretty good job of that. I mean, he's had 10 assists in 2 straight games in the playoffs.
I was going to say that, his scoring is not there, but he is facilitating the ball around, getting people open shots. And like you said, I think he had 8 the first game, 10 this game, right? You said?
I thought he had 10 in both, but maybe it was 8 the first game.
Yeah.
Either way, he is picking apart defenses with his distribution. And this was my second gripe on Ime in this game. That lineup he sent out to start the second half, or the fourth quarter, that was laughable. I think it was Derek White, Marcus Smart, Daniel Tice, Grant Williams, and I want to say maybe Jaylen Brown. It's probably Jaylen Brown out there.
Yeah.
I know Jaylen Brown's out there, but the rest of those stiffs can't score, can't distribute, can't move the ball. The Celtics had brought it to whatever it was. They lost 4 points immediately, and immediately Tatum came back in. And it was just, I couldn't believe he started a fourth quarter of that magnitude with that fucking lineup. That was my second gripe with him. But
that's a gripe you say, but is that confidence for the other players?
No, because they sucked. And immediately Tatum had to come back in. Tatum, to my greater point, Tatum is doing such a fantastic job running that offense, basically, and distributing and breaking down the defense and getting things moving. If he's not putting up 40 or 30, that's okay, because he's doing everything else, and his assist numbers are up. And when you got a guy, Jaylen Brown, who gets slept on, specifically nationally, comes out there and does what he does in the fourth quarter, 2 big threes, one off a great pass and drive from Tatum, another fuck you 3 after a drive on Kyrie where he stink face the whole Garden and the whole Nets team after that one, and another driving layup. I mean, he put the team on his back offensively in that fourth quarter, and that dude's just as much as an offensive superstar as Tatum is, and they're doing it on the highest level. I just thought it was a really, I thought it was a statement from the Celtics to get down by 17 in that magnitude against those players, Kyrie and Durant, and come back all the way, maintain their composure through the whole thing, and look like the more veteran squad that allowed themselves to work their way back into the game, chip away. And then once they got that lead on that Peyton Pritchard step back beauty, they never gave it up. And we should talk more about that. Peyton Pritchard with that big shot, and he hit a nice step back at the free throw line in one of their runs that they're about to slip away. 81-88, I think it was. Celtics were pushing, Nets were coming back. It felt like the Celtics were letting it slip. Peyton came in and hit a big shot there too. So huge game for Peyton Pritchard coming back in.
It's the whole bench, though. Like I said, Grant Williams, Peyton Pritchard, they all stepped up. They had the spotlight on them in that game, and they freaking went above and beyond what they needed to do. Peyton Pritchard, they were talking about basically he needs to be wide open. Yes, he's a great shooter, but he needs to be wide open. He got himself wide open on some of those shots. He made himself open, and that's what I like to see there. And Grant Williams was a beast down low. He played great defense. I think overall, offensively, 17 points, great game from him. But this bench was the limelight for the Celtics.
Yeah, and by bench, you mean two guys, because they only played 8. And Derek White is part of that bench, who's been basically a no-show. Even defensively, he's kind of sucked. But doesn't matter. If Grant Williams, if Peyton Pritchard's going to play that way, and he got the nod late in the fourth quarter, playing some defense, and was a big part of the Celtics closing that out, basically running a 3-man game at the top between Pritchard, Jalen, and Jason to get Jason the ball against Kyrie or a smaller player. That's all Peyton Pritchard, because he's, if that's Derek White, they're not respecting his reins. They're not respecting the spread on the court. So kudos to him. If he can keep that up, that's going to be a huge weapon for him. Switching gears to the net side, Kevin Durant. Let's make this clear for all of you national fucking pundits. Kevin Durant's not on a slump. Kevin Durant can go another 3 or 4 games shooting like this, because it's not Kevin Durant necessarily. It's the Celtics. It's the Celtics and their defense and their tenacity, making this guy uncomfortable, and the lack of coaching or adjustments from Steve Nash and that Nets team to get him open. He could shoot like this for the rest of the series. If the Celtics continue to play defense like this and the Nets continue to run the same sets for him, he could continue to suck.
No, it's going to get worse, because if we go up 3-0, 3-1 against Brooklyn, you will see the baby back bitches collapse and just give up, and they don't care. And you won't see them playing like the high intensity they have been playing. So I think it could get actually worse for Kevin Durant going forward.
Yeah, the only way it won't get worse if he continues to get to the free throw line every time a guy farts on his thigh. That was one of the most physical first round games I've ever seen played, and the refs they were terrible, inconsistently terrible, except for Kevin Durant. Anytime anybody went to the lane, they were getting hit multiple times, except for Durant. He didn't even get to the basket. He did his little silly pull-ups, and anybody got in his airspace and they blew a whistle. It was getting a little bit ridiculous.
I know why. I did some heavy research on this, why Kevin Durant was getting all the calls. I think it was around the second quarter. I noticed this figure on the sidelines, a big fella or woman rather, and it was Kevin Durant's mother. They're just bitching at the refs nonstop. You want her on? You want her yelling at you all game? No. You give her whatever she wants. If you touch my baby boy, you call foul. Got it, ma'am. You got it.
And there was that tiny little white ref with the fucking wiffle haircut, like standing next. She's like towering over him, yelling at him.
Huge.
She was in that big camo fucking duster coat too. It's a fair point. She was definitely making some influence on the game. But 20 free throws for Kevin Durant. 20, and he missed 2 big ones in a real crucial stretch. That kind of tells you what his mentality was. But no, I just think if the Nets don't make adjustments and don't run him off, don't give him some Seth Curry, Reggie Miller sets where he can just come off a pick and shoot, forget it. The Celtics can clamp down on this guy. They can continue it. They're going to have to change things up if they're looking for 30 or 40 points from him. And that's what they're going to need. And they're going to need it from your boy Kyrie, who went
I'm not Bill,
completely into his fucking turtle shell. Toot on that too. I said My prediction was he was going to shut up, quiet down as the Garden got louder, and that was going to affect his play, and he would just be a non-factor. And that's basically what happened. He was
That
nothing.
place was fucking loud last night too.
They were on him.
place
I
was
mean, they were
insane.
on him, and by all accounts, they held it together. No
What do you
obscene
have, 2 points?
profanity.
2 points in the fourth quarter, Kyrie.
Yeah, and missed some big shots. 10 points overall. He was just an absolute non-factor. Had a huge turnover on Tatum. Tatum forced a huge turnover on him, just dribbling the ball. Yeah, absolute putts. And then his post-game preference comes out there and basically, drops a jizz shower of compliments all over everybody, a part of the Celtics organization. This guy's a fucking fraud, just a whack job fraud. Anybody that says they can believe him or just like him is insane. This guy sucks.
The other thing, I don't know if you noticed it. I don't know if they showed it on the TNT broadcast, but we were watching it locally here. He went out and went into the tunnel. He had to eat. Obviously, it's Ramadan, so he's fasting. So they're giving him that excuse, saying, maybe he's fatigued because he's not eating right now and all that shit.
Yeah. That was made. A lot of people kind of pointed that out. He's eating banana on the bench there. 7:32 sunset in Boston. He was able to have a banana. I think Barkley said, I can't be a part of any religion that doesn't let me eat. So
I wouldn't be able to be a part of that either.
Yeah. No, that's not the excuse, because 2 days before he dropped 39 and he was fasting then too. No,
that's what I don't understand. That's like, people are like, when he's doing great, oh, look at him go. And then when he's doing bad, it's Ramadan, he's probably fasting, he's not eating, he's fatigued, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, just give the credit where the credit's due. The Celtics locked him up, shut him down. The crowd was all over him again. Just give it what it is. That's what it was last night.
Yeah, Marcus Smart was on a mission against him too. You got that defensive player of the year
robe.
award.
Did you see that robe he walked in?
Yeah, what a tool, baby. But still, he locked him up, and Kyrie didn't come to play. Play. Kevin Durant said it after game one. Kyrie's a moody guy. Sometimes he's in last night he was in a I don't feel like playing mood. So good for you. Good for you, Nets. Let's see. And this is what it's going to take now. Celtics are up 2-0. Their defense locked in. They gave up 65 points in the first half, and then they gave up 42 points in the second half, 17 in the fourth. Just an absolute dominant performance in the fourth quarter. Durant and Kyrie are going to have to average 30-plus points in 4 of the next 5 games, and the Nets are going to have to play as good a defense as they played in the first quarter for 4 games. I just don't see it happening.
Wait, Ben Simmons is coming back game 4. All their offensive problems will be solved now.
Oh yeah, all of the Nets problems are solved. The savior has come. I'm still not holding my breath.
He ain't gonna play.
He's got an open court case against the Sixers for $19 million.
Yeah, for back issues that he's getting all these epidurals and shit. So yeah, he's gonna milk this as best as he can. He want to get paid.
Yeah, I don't know. Even if he comes back, he can't. If he comes back in game 4. Yeah,
he's never played with any of these guys. There's no chemistry.
He's just started.
He's just started playing 4-on-4. Do you think he knows what Kevin Durant wants to do? Yeah, you can look at film, but he doesn't know where to fucking go on the court. He doesn't.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. People, offensively, I've heard some guys talk about. What's the biggest problem in the Nets offense? Well, they don't have a point guard to run the ship. How's he gonna? He doesn't know what to do. And their offense is basically give the ball to Kyrie or KD and get out of the way.
Yeah. So I don't understand how this, when Bill said that text to him, who fucking cares if he comes back? He ain't gonna do shit.
Even defensively, the level, the intensity that this series is at, for a guy to come in after not playing for 10 months and think that you're just going to sit in there and lock up Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum, who are 2 of the best players in the league right now. Are you fucking high? Get out of here. The last time we saw you, you refused to dunk because you didn't want to go to the free throw line, you coward. I would foul him immediately the first time he walks on the court. Put him on the line. Watch him melt.
Whoever's at the end of the bench, put him in there just to intentionally foul him, just to put him on there. Yeah,
just get in the bonus within the first 30 seconds and do nothing but foul Ben Simmons. Who's the tall guy on the end of the bench for the Celtics? Cornette. Yeah. Get in there, you lanky bitch. Go just hack this guy and put him on the line.
Done.
What does it say about the bigger question that we've been asking for a while here in the Celtics turnaround? Have they finally figured it out? Have they solidified this final test of being able to perform in clutch time, crunch time moments deliver a win instead of collapsing and losing their composure when it matters most? Did these two late game wins and comebacks against, the top player in the world solidify that for you, or is there still more to be seen?
The last two games, all I kept thinking about was that text you sent us about the 5-31 in late games with the Celtics in the fourth quarter, and they're pulling it out. I mean, they're actually, that's a check mark for them. That's a win column for them right there. So that's one of the biggest factors they had all seasons. They couldn't close out games. In the fourth quarter, the pressure got hot. They would just melt. They fucking put the pedal to the metal, and 2 in a row, against one of the best teams in the East, even though they're the 7th seed. Like you said, they were the best team in the East going when KD and Kyrie were hot early on. So I think this is one of those things where I think they have made that next leap up.
I think they've made a leap. I won't give them the whole leap. Here's why. And I was saying I had a lot of no, yes moments last night in the final 4 to 8 minutes of that fourth quarter. I don't like how stagnant their offense got still. They hit the shots, but the perfect example of what I'm talking about is Marcus Smart mesmerized by his left hand after he banked it in a weird angle.
I did that the first time I jerked off too. I was mesmerized by it.
Gave yourself the stranger. I don't like where that offense went. Look, they hit the shots, and maybe that's part of the evolution. Your big time players hit big time shots, but it's not like they were moving the ball and getting layups. They were making tough shots to close out that fourth quarter. So I'd like to see them kind of stick to their offense a little bit longer in a fourth quarter type game. But if you're making the shots and you're getting the wins, winning cures all, right? So, until those shots don't go in, I guess I can't complain too much.
Yeah, I guess we can't, because this is awesome.
Yeah, someone on Sports Hub was saying it was the second loudest Boston event they've ever been to, only to the Eastern Conference Finals Bruins Lightning, which got loud. So, and they were rocking.
The place was fucking loud. You could hear it on the telecast. That wasn't piped in. That was legit crowd energy, noise, everything. It was insane.
Fun team to root for, man. Most they play hard defense. That's all we asked for last year when we shit on them so bad for how bad of a season. It wasn't that they were losing. It was that they quit. And now there's no quit in this team. They dig it out, and they got talent, and they should have as good a chance as any to win the championship. What did Bill text? They're third right now, odds to win.
Third, yeah. Phoenix is 1, Golden State's 2, and we're third.
Yeah. If they don't come out of the East, show me what it looks like, but they should be pushing to come out of the East. Eastern Conference Finals, pushing to come out of the East for sure. But let's get through the Nets first. All right, Raymond. Great win. Quote unquote Queen's big boy win.
Fucking hey, let's keep it going, baby. I'm all green teamed out right now. This is awesome.
No shit. Total swing. Let me know when you eat that cookie, by the way.
Well, you got to make it first.
Okay. Let me get my Marcus Smart on. All right. We're going to wrap this up. We'll have an instant reaction here. These guys are watching the game, so we'll try and buzz through. Until then, headlines with the obvious one.
Thank you, Richard. Marcus Smart won the award for Defensive Player of the Year. First time since 95 when the glove won it too. Kyrie is a cunt and was fined 50,000 clams for being a cunt. Cuntity cunt. The Red Sox won 2 and are first in the East. They may blow out Whitlock's arm, but at least they're a 500 team. Bill, shut up. The Bruins can't score on the power play, boo. But they clinched the playoffs and they beat the Blues. With only 5 left, can they pass the Lightning and avoid the Hurricanes in round 1 of the playoffs? This has been Headlines with the obvious one.
That was terrible. Good effort. Ray.
Thank you.
Obviously, the birthday song for yours truly. Appreciate it. Red Sox keeping it close. 2-1 win over the Blue Jays on Tuesday. Evaldi went 4 2/3 with 6 Ks, 1 run, a walk, and 100 pitches. 100 pitches in 4 innings. Oh, God, that's brutal. Whitlock with the
I watched
save.
that game. They're fouling off everything. Like everything right around the plate. Fastball, foul. I'm like, God damn it.
Well, get better stuff. Get it past him. Right to your point on Whitlock, Bill, he's on pace for 175 innings out of the bullpen. Here's the record for bullpen innings. Came from 1974. Mike Marshall, 208 innings.
Bill, do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Bill? Anyone? No.
You got him in his upper deck pack at Christmas.
No, those tops. Upper deck wasn't around then.
Sorry, my apologies. 2021, last year's the inning leader out of the bullpen was Ryan Yarbrough. And here's a little fun fact.
Yeah, he was an opener.
Behind him, Garrett Richards with 137, who split his time as a starter. So 175 certainly is pushing the limit for today's baseball. I'll just let you finish your thought on the Garrett Whitlock, Bill.
I just think that's overuse. So you have if you keep him to his pace, you're looking at what 61, 62 appearances roughly for 175 innings. That's overuse, right? You look at guys that pitch every 5 days, the Max Scherzers of the world who pitched 7 innings last night, Tuesday night. Those guys get 200 innings in 31 appearances, 32 starts, 33, roughly right around there, depending on how they go. I mean, to ask a reliever to get roughly starter innings out of the bullpen and that shorter few appearances. I mean, I know in the old days you threw out, as much as you can. I mean, Noel Ryan once threw 239 pitches in a complete game. Turn around 3 days later and threw another complete game with like 130 pitchers. I mean, back in the day, you could do that. Now you can't. They're bigger, stronger. You're blowing out your arms more. So figure out a role with him. I personally, right now, I like him in that 2 to 3 inning role because I don't trust Walker. I don't trust Nick Pivetta, and I don't trust Rich Hill right now. I think pairing him with Rich Hill gives you that, those same appearances as Rich Hill. It keeps him on that, and then you can build in maybe his bullpen day. So you're still running him out every 3 days, but kind of what you did last night, but I don't want to see him go close out a game. You saw him go two games last week. He pitched 3 innings, close out the game. Like, figure out a role there, right? Yep. I would rather see him as a starter. Honestly, I think you have the biggest need there at starting pitching right now, but stop trying to figure it out in this early in the season and stop playing these games like it's playoffs. According to Cora, I don't want to see this kid blow his arm out again. He's coming off Tommy John surgery. I know he's a fucking weapon, but excuse me, you need to figure it out.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say about the playing it like it's playoffs, I don't hate it. You can't do it all year, obviously, but you're walking into a stretch. We got a lot of division games here, 17 games in a row. You haven't won an opener in a series all season long. You finally did it in a game that would have been a brutal one to drop. So I hear what you're saying. You can't continue that, but it is early. They can back him off and clean up that projection of innings. So we'll see where they land. I like him in that spot too. The way that baseball is right now, like, you kind of need that 2-3 inning guy.
He's more important in that role, but yeah, but go ahead, Ray. I'm just trying.
I was just gonna say, doesn't it look good for the Red Sox only having 3 hits and winning that 2-1 game? Like, is that like, oh shit, we don't have to rely on our bats all the time too?
No, it was a freezing cold night in Fenway with wind. I mean,
right?
No, like, I don't put, like, I get it. The bullpen pitched great. I mean, you have a couple nice weapons out there, but again, Garrett Whitlock shouldn't be your closer. You should have went to Jake Diekman in 9, but there's questions there. Good. But like the Red Sox,
Robles, you can save Robles for the 9th.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you said, you just gotta start having faith in some more guys. And if you drop one because of it, then you'll learn that you can't trust them. And I don't know. Here's an idea: go find one diamond in the rough. I thought that was your whole thing. Go get a guy.
Strom guy. Luscious locks when he comes out of the bullpen. He just throws 95 out of the left side.
Team?
No, like, you don't.
Oh wow! All right,
you don't put relievers on your fantasy team.
Put closers, fucking idiot.
Jesus,
idiot.
learn how to fucking play. Come on.
Speaking of luscious locks, quick afternoon delight. We'll get to the Bruins.
Sky rockets in flight. Woo! Afternoon delight. Whoop.
You guys have it, I think.
Afternoon delight.
I don't know, Ron. That sounds kind of crazy.
Coach K at the game.
What'd you say?
Coach K is at the Celtics game.
I thought you said cocaine.
Yeah,
At the game. That's why I heard him. Like,
Well,
what?
you know, I knew that wasn't what he said when he went, like a disgust.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
True.
Nah, you can't do that shit anymore. People are dying. They lace it with fucking like fentanyl and you have these heart attacks. No thanks.
Yeah,
None of that
gotcha.
shit.
Bruins stay solid. They get the win over the Blues, and Ray Stradamus doesn't do hockey, but he says they also got the win over the Penguins. Let's say that they did. That's a Thursday night game. Right on. Good job, Bees. I'm going to say Rich Stradamus says that they still didn't score on the power play. 0 for 27 as of Wednesday, 0 for 2 against the Blues. Since Pasternak went out, they have not scored on the power play. That's a problem. It took Jake DeBrusk on a pretty nice assist to McAvoy with a better shot to win that one in St. Louis.
It's Jake DeBrusk, man, huh?
Fuck off, Bill. Ray, your thoughts on the Bruins?
It finally came true. Yes.
It's a good thing you clinched the playoffs and you beat a hot Blues team. I think they had a 9-game winning streak, so that's always a plus in the right direction for you. Yeah, we haven't been putting the power play up there, but hey, whatever. I mean, you it's playoff time. You know, just get hot at the right time now.
Do you think what's your feeling on this club going into the playoffs, Bill? Should they? I mean, they're as of Wednesday, they're a point behind Tampa. Right now, they're slotted to play the Hurricanes. Are you still of the mind that Toronto's a better matchup for them because of the history, the gameplay, and the way the Hurricanes have fucking destroyed the Bruins this regular season? And is there a chance with now 4 games left? We don't know what they did against the Penguins, but can they catch Tampa? And they should they be trying?
I've said it once and I'll say it again. I don't sacrifice health for seeding. Get healthy. Keep Lindholm. Keep Pasternak out until they're healthy. I mean, ideally, you want to play that Toronto. I think Toronto's a better matchup, even though Austin Matthews has got, he's a 50-goal scorer. But Carolina has owned you this year. I think you've been outscored 34-4 and whatever.
Sorry to interrupt you, but can you afford? Lindholm's a new player with this team. Pasternak's been out a while. Can you afford to let them get their legs underneath you against a team like the Hurricanes? Won't you just be fucking out before by the time they can? Like, don't they need a couple warm-ups?
Yeah, I mean, I'd keep 1 game, 2 games left. I mean, what do you got? 6 left, 5 left, right around there. I don't know the exact number.
As of Friday, right now, you're sitting at only 4 or 5 left games.
So,
left,
you hope to get him in maybe the last game, just get their feet wet, but they are skating. Pasternak is the most crucial. I think he's your best scoring threat on any line that he's on, including obviously the impact on the power play. But excuse me, he's a guy I want to, with his history in the playoffs of battling injuries, I want him coming back 100% healthy. Lindholm, I think he's a good, he's a veteran. He's playing on a line with a pair with Charlie McAvoy. I think you can, I think you'll integrate him fine back into the playoffs with the limited games. I'm not so worried about him.
It's better. It's easier for a defenseman to come in and play that role, especially for him, who's not
you got a Norris
stay-at-home guy, but
he's guy next to you. It makes it a lot easier. So
yeah, you got a Selke guy.
They're going to have some rust.
Best players in Martian.
Yeah, you have bigger problems in your goalie situation with Ullmark out, which it's incredible at this point in the season. I'm saying this, but Ullmark injury definitely hurt the momentum that he had. Thankfully, Jeremy Swayman back-to-back starts, but good solid performances. But you need to figure out that situation. That's your biggest situation going into the playoffs. That's your biggest question mark is you need a number 1 goalie. I'm not into the mind of rotating goalies in these games. So figure out who is. And at one point in time, we all wanted Ullmark. Now it's like, shit, is Swayman,
well, the only silver lining on that is if Swayman, has been forced back into this role and gets hot, then you're going to ride him in the playoffs anyway. Technically, you don't even really need a backup. So, especially
if you had a white knight that just retired, that you might be able to lure out of retirement.
All right. I'm not going to mute you, but you earned it. We'll be right back with Simplest Minds of the Week.
Are you stupid or something? I'm as stupid as a stupid does.
Tuca Bill. It was Tuca Bill.
It was Tuukka Rask is what he was saying. He was desperate for the butthole tattoo.
God, this would be the fucking year that they win the Stanley Cup, the year he retires. And I told you, I would say it so hard. I told you, motherfuckers, they'll never win a cup with Tuukka Rask.
Ray will
Never
get a
do it.
butthole tattoo of Tuukka Rask if they win it without him.
Yep, I will.
There you go. Come on, bees.
Let's go Bruins. You heard it. Mark it down. 728.
Way to keep up, Bill. Devon Smith, I don't know. Cut by the Pittsburgh Maulers of the USFL for ordering pizza. That's the headline. The story on this is a little bit more complicated and a little bit less funny, so I'm not going to get totally into it. But basically, he went in and asked for pizza, and they were serving chicken salad, and they cut him.
Yeah, well, a coach ordered pizza, right? So a coach came in, he's like, "Can I get a piece of pizza?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "Okay," something like that. This is the most ridiculous thing. Like, this is the definition of the simplest mind of the week. Who gets cut? This is like Ray getting fired for ordering like chicken fingers instead of salads that maybe we're on a weight loss kick. And this,
well, that's actually a good deterrent. If his employer is listening, maybe you should start putting that in place because we want him to live a long time. So maybe once in a while, slip in Thursdays, just salad Thursdays.
The pizza Thursdays, you idiots.
My bad. Pizza Monday,
you eat
Tuesday,
pizza
Thursday.
every Thursday?
No, it's pizza at work every Thursday at lunch.
And you eat pizza every
It's
Thursday?
a real thing, isn't it?
I don't eat pizza. I don't eat their lunch.
If you walked in and asked for, they had pizza, and you asked for a cheesesteak, and they fired you over it.
Lawyer up, baby. Lawyer the fuck up.
New Hampshire is an at-will employment state, so they don't really necessarily need a reason, bud.
Bye-bye. Fuck your cheesesteak.
Toodaloo, motherfucker.
This has been the Silver Mind Sports Show. Friday Rewind, April 22nd. We'll see you on Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye-bye. Celtics down 11.
Good job, Brian. Thank you. Well done. Hey, on a percentage of hours per day, how often do you think you wear gym shorts?
Like 5.
Really?
5% of your day?
Oh, no.
5 hours?
Hold on. Let's break this down. Right? There are 24 hours in a day.
Okay. So I wear underwear to bed. So that's 8 hours. And then I wear work clothes for another 8. So there's 16.
Good math.
Thank you.
What's left? What's 24 minus 16?
That's 8, but I think it's not 8 hours. It's definitely not 8. It's probably like 5 hours. I wear.
Okay.
I can't do the underwear to bed. Nothing at all. Just let it all hang right out. I don't give a shit. It's the only way to sleep. It's a men's sleep, Ray.
I go back.
When you have kids, Bill, it's kind of weird that they sneak in bed and your little dong's hanging out.
I locked the door.
Hey,
Medicine's naked right next to me.
Did I send that
She
to you
don't give a
guys? The Twitter thing that had the penis size ranked in the world.
You sent it to the other chat that.
Okay. Well, Bill, just a congrats to you guys and to us in America. Top 60, baby. 59th. We're not Cambodia.
Can you tell the listeners who the top 3 was though?
No, we're gonna get the show started. It was the French.
Oh, wait.
Ray tries to take credit for that.
Hey, happy birthday, Richard.
It's the French?
Yeah, the French.
You're French Canadian. They have really
I'm French. I'm French
dicks.
and French Canadian.
Micro dicks.
Yeah, Canadians, I think, landed under America. So,
micro penises. And you ever, like, it's when the girls have really big clits. They kind of look like a mini penis. That's what your dick looks like.
Is that like Cambodian sub 4, which is...
Yeah, they're also sub 5 feet tall anyway. So, I mean, the fucking dick fits the average size of their body.
Good call, Bill. Bill with the math, always coming through. Ray, thank you for the birthday wishes.
Yeah. I already gave you mine.
Yeah, no, Bill gave me the one.
You only get one.
You only get one.
Birth.
Every 3 years, you complete the happy birth day. So tomorrow,
I gave
next
you
year,
congratulations the other day. That was good enough.
I'll look forward to the day All right, let's get the show started. The Simple Mind Sports Show, where we talk New England sports and the latest and the greatest going on.